You, a BLM leader, and you're now endorsing Donald Trump, saying he's the best candidate we have. Why do you think he is the best candidate that we have?
Well, I like Trump, personally. I feel like
Really?
a lot of Black people are starting to pivot off of that Democratic plantation for so long. We've been slaves to that party. Actually, we've been mental slaves, afraid to get off of that plantation because we've been used and abused for so long.
All right, folks. Well, today we got to address one of the strangest news stories I have seen in the last few months, which of course says a lot considering America has a lot of strange news stories. But long story short, the founder and senior director of the BLM chapter in Rhode Island has come out and endorsed Trump for president in 2024. Now, to tell you the truth, I don't know how I really feel about that. Because on one hand, if he did have a complete change of heart and he recognizes everything that was flawed with his past beliefs and the notion that committing crimes and tearing down the country is a viable way to run a society is wrong, then I'm 100% all for that, right? I think people can totally change their minds and I welcome them with open arms. But on the flip side, you do also have to ask the question, well, if BLM, at least organizationally in terms of, the Black Lives Matter group was a grift the entire time and they now have run dry of money and their attention is gone, is this just another ploy for money and attention in the opposite direction? I don't know, and the verdict on that is still out. But with that said, let's react to this. And this is the video, I guess, of him endorsing Trump in 2024. And let's see what he has to say. Let's see. I haven't even seen this yet. Let's check it out.
You, a BLM leader, and you're now endorsing Donald Trump, saying he's the best candidate we have. Why do you think he is the best candidate that we have?
Because everybody else sucks.
So is he just the best of a bad group? I mean, is he not that great either, but he's just like better than the rest?
Well, I like Trump, personally. And I think right now who we have sitting in the Oval Office is just a deep disappointment. I deeply have disdain for him, and I really dislike the vice president as well.
What is it that why do you not like them versus like Donald Trump?
Okay, so it could be the case he's just not very articulate. I mean, he runs a Black Lives Matter chapter, but maybe he's not an on-camera type of guy. But I do have to say, if we're going to continue to run with my theory that maybe, like I said, BLM, the organization, I think the movement isn't a grift. I think the movement was a very deliberate attempt to destroy the country, but the organizations of Black Lives Matter are just a grift for money and attention. When I listen to that, it sounds very insincere to me. Why do you like Trump over Biden? Well, I just like Trump and I don't like Biden. That sounds like, especially the way he says it, that sounds to me like my theory is true, and that's very insincere. And he really hasn't even thought out the grift, right? He hasn't even thought out at least the script of what to say. But on the flip side, maybe he does feel that way and he's just inarticulate. Let's listen to the rest of this. Maybe he explains it, because again, I've never seen this before. So let's listen.
I would imagine you're alone in this. Do you feel alone in this viewpoint in the world that you're in, being in the BLM movement?
No, I feel like the tide is starting to turn. I feel like
really?
A lot of Black people are starting to pivot off of that Democratic plantation for so long. We've been slaves to that party. Actually, we've been mental slaves, afraid to get off of that plantation because, we've been used and abused for so long at that party. They don't value our vote. Their policies are basically racist policies. And I believe it's a racist party that strikes at the heart of the Black family and the nuclear family in general. And I believe Donald Trump he's the opposite. He's going to tell you how it is. He's going to give it to you straight. He's not going to,
Okay, and now he's articulating a little bit better, which is good and fine, I guess. But again, BLM, is against the nuclear family. And that's been on their website. That was on their, that's one of their core values, is they oppose that. Now, he has his own beliefs, and that's fine. But how can he still be a part of Black Lives Matter and run an organization, run a chapter of Black Lives Matter, and then contradict them? Again, I'm very confused. Maybe he's sincere and that's good, but I'm very confused. Folks, it is obviously a very unstable time in the world right now, which is why it's never been a better time to invest your money in safe, stable assets like gold, silver, and precious metals. And whether it's converting a retirement account into a physical gold IRA or just using some spare cash to buy a little bit of gold to have, our friends at Noble Gold Investments can help you do this. Noble Gold has been helping customers like you secure their financial security with gold and silver for years now and have achieved an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So especially if you're brand new to investing or especially investing in gold, our friends at Noble Gold can walk you through the entire process, and you can trust that A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So if you're the least bit interested, do me a favor, because they do a lot to support this channel and are a big reason these videos are possible. Go check out the link at vincedaogold.com. You can fill out a form there to put your contact information, or if you want to call them directly and speak to a real person, give them a call at 877-646-5347. Again, if you're just the least bit interested in investing in gold and silver, our friends at Noble Gold will give you the rundown and options, and your contributions, obviously, to Noble Gold go back into this channel. So vincedaogold.com, or dial the number. Check out our friends at Noble Gold.
Hypocrite and stab you in the back like the Democratic Party loves to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. Okay, I don't know what to think of that, because on one hand, I do think one thing he said is true, which is the attitudes towards Trump are definitely changing in the Black community. And you see that in the videos, you see that in the polls. I don't know how much is going to actually show up in 2024, because I don't know how many of the people who are saying that they like Trump are actually going to go out and vote and stuff. But I think it is true. There is a changing attitude, especially among a lot of Black men. Not all of them. I don't even know about a majority of them, but definitely it's there and you're starting to notice it, right? But on the flip side, if you're this guy, again, you run a grifting organization, and that's what you're very good at, and you start to see, hey, the attitude of Black people towards Trump, or at least the Black people like in my circles, are starting to shift. Why don't I just get out ahead of that before the rest of them and kind of get on board and then push the next grift? Because obviously the current BLM and the BLM of the past is basically run dry of money and starved and dead. And so let me kind of reinvent it by hopping on board what a lot of Black people, or at least some Black people, are moving towards. I don't know. Okay, it's very confusing. Now, to be clear about this is obviously just the opinion of one guy, because the National Black Lives Matter organization did tweet out, to be clear, Donald Trump is a terrorist who committed treason and tried to subvert American democracy. He is no friend to Black people seeking to live in a just society, and we in no way support him, right? Which adds up. That's about what you'd expect. Not surprised at all. Of course, the terrorist organization will project and call other people a terrorist. And that's this whole thing is just so confusing. But I do now want to talk about this, which is Donald Trump's response to this guy, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Let's read it, okay? So Donald Trump puts out on Truth Social, he says, spoke with Mark Fisher yesterday, a great guy, very honored to have his and BLM's support. I have done more for Black people than any other president, except for Lincoln, including 10-year funding for historically Black colleges and universities where they had none, opportunity zones, criminal justice reform, blah, blah, blah. Thank you to Mark. Okay. So the part of this Truth Social that a lot of people are not happy with is he says in the first sentence there, very honored to have his and BLM support, right? Because first and foremost, he just as a matter of factual statement does not have the support of Black Lives Matter. And obviously a lot of conservatives aren't happy, because why would you want the support of BLM. BLM is a terrorist, anti-white, racist, just awful group. Communist, right? That no conservative should seek the support of. And I think, in my opinion, yeah, it's true. It was probably a bad word choice for Trump to throw in his and BLM support. It's one thing to say you're honored to have his support. That's fine. I don't see an issue with that. But to say also, thank you, Black Lives Matter, for your support. A lot of people got pissed at that. They said, why are you endorsing Black Lives Matter? To me, I will say, I think it's a little bit overblown. I think in one regard, he's probably trolling a little bit. Right. And maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid there. But I think in some ways he's just trying to be like tongue in cheek. Haha, Black Lives Matter supports me, because Black Lives Matter doesn't support him. One person in Black Lives Matter supports him. And maybe on the flip side, it's just a careless word choice. I will say, I say with pretty supreme confidence that I think as president, Donald Trump's not going to be listening to Black Lives Matter or, just taking their marching orders or whatever it is. But whether it's poor word choice or he's trolling, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was the best decision. I understand why people are not happy. On the flip side, I think a lot of the Trump haters are taking it way out of proportion. It's one Truth Social post. It's kind of a casual word thrown out tongue in cheek. Should he have said it? No. Is it the biggest deal in the world? Probably not. And I think when you take a look at the actual proposals and agenda that Trump has been running on for 2024 in terms of anti-crime, death penalty for drug dealers and all this different stuff, I'm not exactly sure that Donald Trump's going to, he's some closet woke Black Lives Matter activist underneath it all. OK, and I don't think that's how he's going to be as president. Now, is there a case to be made in 2020 that he did not do enough to stop the BLM terrorist riots of 2020? Absolutely. But I think if anything, maybe that's more so the argument you could make than saying that, I don't know, now Donald Trump's listening to Black Lives Matter. Like I said, think people are just reading way too much into that. Frankly, it's either random word choice or even more likely, I think he was trolling, right? You think it was kind of a troll and probably not the right time to do it. Because now, obviously, a lot of the opponents to Donald Trump have, in the Republican Party, in this primary, have ammunition to go against him and say, hey, look, he supports Black Lives Matter. And I'm sure Ron DeSantis has gone out and said, well, look, I'm not in favor of Black Lives Matter, all this stuff. Maybe it's a masterful troll that should be saved for the general election. I don't know. But again, don't think it's the biggest deal. And as for the whole situation itself, I don't know. I guess let's just collectively laugh at it and think it's kind of funny, because I don't know what else to think. I don't know if this guy is sincere or not. Of course, the BLM leader I'm talking about. But let me know your thoughts, I guess, in the comment section down below. Do you think this guy is sincere, the BLM activist? What do you make of that? Because I don't know. Well, that said, folks, leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you are new. Check out our friends at VinceDaoGold.com. And until next time, Alpha Moves only. God bless. Have a very good day. Peace.